Good afternoon. It is great to be in Jacksonville. I want to let you know that the reason that we're here is to provide help. And I was talking to the mayor. We got a briefing right before we came down. It looks like the storm is holding at the Cape. The winds are still at about 45 miles per hour as we understand it. But this storm is unpredictable. And so what Jacksonville and Northeast Florida are doing are exactly the right things, Mayor. Making sure that you're prepared, you're ready, taking the storm seriously. We appreciate the fact that you're doing that. You may or may not be aware of the fact that, regrettably, there's already been one Florida death, I should say, from this storm in Highlands County involving a generator, regrettably. But the watchword is to stay tuned and to be vigilant and to be safe and to be calm. We've been through these kinds of things a lot in the past, as you know, Mayor, and I know that Jacksonville certainly has, all Northeast Florida. I talked with the mayor of St. Augustine just this morning, and people are ready and they're prepared, and that's really the most important mission. I have an opportunity to introduce a great man to you before the mayor speaks, Craig Fugate. Craig is our director of emergency management for the state of Florida, does a superb job, and Craig, give us your words of wisdom, please, sir. Thank you.
Well, thanks, everybody. It's good to be back in Jacksonville, my birthplace, if most people don't know it. I'm actually was born at Naval Air Station here back in 1959. So I have a lot of history here. It's a great team to work with. The mayor and the emergency management staff here are top-notch. And again, as the governor says, what we want to echo is this. Be safe, be smart. When you're talking about tropical systems, there's one thing you need to understand that has nothing to do with how, the category of hurricane, whether it becomes a hurricane, is rainfall. You can have torrential, oftentimes damaging rainfall from a system that's not very well organized. We already have a report down at NASA of over 21 inches of rainfall that has occurred from the system. So, again, the mayor and his team are working hard to keep you safe, make their job easy, follow their recommendations, allow these professionals to do their job so we can come out of this safe, if not a little bit wetter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Craig. And now it's my distinct honor to have the opportunity to introduce your mayor to you, who needs no introduction, certainly, John Peyton, my friend.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor. First, let me just say we appreciate the governor and his team being so responsive to Jacksonville. We've been in constant communication really for the past 36 hours, and it's great to have Craig home. Welcome home, Craig. You do a great job keeping our state safe. The storm continues to be a threat to this community, and I think the way we can best understand the magnitude of it is really the 2004 experience we had with a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and, of course, power outages. And the fact that threat still looms, we would ask that everyone still continue to be vigilant and pay attention and do those things that would allow you to do well in an environment where there's no power or there's limbs down on the roads that you would usually use. Again, we have shelters available should citizens need them. We've got schools closed, and we're taking all the precautions I think necessary to allow families to prepare. But no doubt the storm has been uncertain, hard to predict, and we are trying to make decisions that keep us safe and give us the best possible reaction time to whatever may occur. And it looks like the worst is still ahead, and we just ask that you be vigilant. Again, I want to thank the governor and Craig Fugate with our state system, and of course all the folks here at EOC who really have impressed me is under the leadership of Marty Centerfit, our chief. We've got a lot of folks here that are working very hard around the clock to make sure that we're doing all we can as a city to be responsive. The most important part, though, is the personal responsibility, and I would encourage our citizens to really take seriously the notion of doing what you can with you and your family and your friends and your neighbors to take those steps necessary to keep yourself safe, and that would certainly make our job a lot easier. Be happy to answer any questions we have before the governor heads out, but again, thank you, Governor, for being in Jacksonville today.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
Tim, I know you've been across the state.
Yeah.
What is it that you can exactly do for Duval County should we see some problems here? What can the state do?
Well, state can do a lot. Number one, with the leadership of Craig Fugate, we get a lot of good information, which is probably the most important thing that anybody can provide during a situation like this is updated information to be sure that citizens, most importantly, the people whose health, safety, and welfare we're responsible for, get the very best data that is up to the minute, number one. Obviously, resources are important. Financial support. I was just mentioning to Craig and to the mayor a few minutes before that we will make formal application to the federal government through FEMA for funds to be able to help out with this storm. And so we'll make that application when we land back in Tallahassee this afternoon. And our prayers. And there's nothing more important than that. And so you've got all of those three and more. Yes, sir.
What's been the role up to this point in what you expect will be the future of the National Guard?
Oh, well, the General's here. National Guard has been incredible. General Burnett's a great leader, as you know. I'll let him speak in just a second. But they got about 9,000 troops at our disposal. They're the best and the bravest I've ever seen. About 500 already dispatched. But, General, if you can speak more specifically, that'd be great. Please, sir.
Your Florida National Guard is ready like it has been in the 2004-2005 series. In fact, more ready. We've got the greatest number of highway vehicles we've ever had. We've got the greatest number of soldiers home from the global war on terrorism. For example, our plans yesterday, and of course I grew up in Jacksonville, so I have an interest in being able to come back as a guardsman and say, hey, we're here. We included about 2,500 guards being available to come right in the streets of Jacksonville, supporting local law enforcement, our community leaders. This morning we had 400 of our air guardsmen out at the fighter wing gathered, understanding they may have to come into the streets immediately. As you can see, the storm shifted a little bit. But as the governor said, we're ready, and we have to constantly be focused, and we also have to be very, very vigilant. So.
You said there's 500 already that's been dispatched.
We have 56 armories around the state, so we have guardsmen go into those armories early, make sure the vehicles are ready to go, crank them up, getting the equipment ready as the soldiers come into the armories. They got to be ready. When you get a storm of this magnitude that moves quite slow, of course, it affects our entire state, which means we got to be ready across that spectrum of the entire state. Thank you.
Thank you, General.
Size up the reaction of Floridians to this tropical storm, at least the way Florida reacted?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, I couldn't be more proud to be the governor of this great state than I am right now. The people of Florida are incredible. Yesterday we went to Key West. That was followed up by a stop in Naples, Collier County, where the storm came in initially after it went through the Keys. And this could be a trifecta in terms of how many times it may hit Florida. Not the kind of trifecta that you want, obviously, but the reaction of our fellow Floridians is incredible. They are well practiced, as we know, and I want to thank again publicly our first responders at the local level because it's the coordination between local, state, and federal, but most importantly, the people themselves. They are our greatest resource, and thank God we have such great people in the state of Florida. No, we're definitely not out of the woods yet. As the mayor well put, this is an unpredictable storm, and we're not sure where she's going to go next. And that's why I think the most important thing to say is, as the mayor said, be vigilant and, make sure you stay in touch with local authorities, heed their advice and their counsel, stay in touch with the local media. I want to thank the media very much for helping us keep the people informed about what's going on with this storm. Without you, it would be very hard to communicate with anybody. So God bless you, and thank you very much. Thanks a lot.